This wire weaving technique is called a figure 8 wrap. We're going to start out with a figure 8 on 2 base wires, but once you become more experienced, you can add 3, 4, or more base wires. But we're just going to start out with 2. The tools that we're going to use to create this figure 8 wire wrap are a pair of flat nose pliers and a pair of snips, but we're going to use our fingers for the most part. We're going to start with 18 gauge wire as our base wires, and we're going to use 26 gauge wire as our weaving wire. To start out, we're going to take one of our base wires and we're going to wrap the long end of our wire. We're going to want to leave a little bit of a tail around the base wire. Just one wrap. Push those up next to each other with your fingers so it's nice and tight. We're going to bring in our second base wire on top of our tail. And we're going to take the long end of our weaving wire and finish wrapping it around our bottom base wire, but we're going to come in between the 2 wires. Push that up next to our first wrap and come out underneath the second base wire. I'm just going to push this tail to the side and use it to hold. Now I'm going to take my weaving wire and I'm going to wrap it one time completely around the upper base wire, coming in between the 2 wires, and wrap it all the way around. So now you can see that I've got 2 wraps on the bottom wire and 2 wraps on the top wire. I'm now going to come in between and underneath the bottom base wire. I'll wrap completely around that bottom base wire. And then come in between and wrap around the top base wire. Always use your fingers to push those wraps down so that they're nice and tight and pushed up against each other. You'll then continue this technique for as long as you want that figure 8 wrap to be. Now that you have that wrap as long as you wanted it to be, you need to trim and tuck the excess wire. I'm going to take my snips and using the flat side pushed up as close as I can to the base wires, snip my excess material. I'm going to use those flat nose pliers just to pinch that tail in so that it's not sticking out. And that's how to do a figure 8 wire wrap. This is a great technique for ring bands.